Through with threats to boycott the 66th Independence Anniversary Parade. We will tell you why.
And later in the bulletin, we'll update you on lessons from Rwanda as Ghana celebrates its 66th Independence Anniversary.
On the international front, England will no longer lead the Anglican Church.
We have details of all these stories and more coming your way within the next 1 hour. Be part of the show. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts on our many stories for tonight.
We begin with the Independence Day celebrations, and President Akufo-Addo says he is still committed to what he terms the Ghana Project, despite the current challenges bedeviling the economy. Delivering his 66th Independence Anniversary address at Adaklu in the Volta region, the president further urged Ghanaians to continue guarding jealously the peace being enjoyed. My colleague Eric Mawina Edbeta reports.
There was high anticipation as the Volta region was in line to witness the National Independence Day in the newly introduced rotational celebration basis. Patrons traveled from far and near to witness history. The youth sports complex at Adaklu played host to all of Ghana's rich traditions and culture as people dressed in colorful traditional and national regalia filled the venue grounds. The already excited crowd took the noise levels some decibels higher when the president made his entry. One by one, students, professionals, and members of the security agencies took turns marching past the president. The team from the Ghana Armed Forces joined in on the action, much to the excitement of the spectators. Chair of the ECOWAS Commission and President of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoko Embalo, called for greater collaboration between the two countries to deal with political instability in the region.
I am here today to celebrate with you in my capacity as the President of Guinea-Bissau, as well as the current Chair of the Authority of Head of State and Government of ECOWAS, and to convey to all of you our best wishes for more prosperity, progress, and happiness. Together, brothers and sisters, we shall continue to strive for peace, political stability, solidarity, and social development.
On his part, President Akufo-Addo, while highlighting the numerous challenges bedeviling the country, said he will properly brief the nation on efforts currently underway to deal with the challenges at the State of the Nation address.
Fellow Ghanaians, I'm very much aware of the current difficulties confronting our nation, and we are working hard to resolve them. But maybe we should also count our blessings in how together we are managing the difficulties. We all see the images around the world. Here in Ghana, we have not had any fuel queues. We have not suffered shortages of food and essential items, or the catastrophe of Dumsum. Undoubtedly, major global developments have had a negative impact on our domestic economic performance. We have witnessed historic highs in global inflation and food prices, rising global interest rates triggered by tightening of monetary policy of central banks across several advanced economies to tame rising inflation, an energy crisis with crude oil prices reaching unprecedented highs at one point above $120 a barrel.
And that's how the 66th Independence Anniversary ended here at the Youth Sport Complex in the Volta region. Personnel from the Ghana Ambulance Service in Massive Jama, as we like to call it, from here, as all of the events and the numerous activities have been crowned now here in the Volta region. For residents, this has been nothing short of an exciting moment.
I like the way they march, and the helicopters, they were very nice.
Personally, I'm happy for this program to have happened here in the Volta region. You'll be surprised that a lot of people have traveled outside Ho to this event. Personally, I traveled from Pandu to this place.
It's even surprise for me how things go well. Everything is nice for me. Every time I'm enjoying it.
It's one of the best events that I've ever experienced in my life, you know. Yeah, and I think Ghana is the best. Ghana is the best out of Africa because how the helicopters were flying away, and then it was awesome.
So the experience was very fantastic today. For the first time seeing the Guinea-Bissau president, the ammo cars, all sorts of people, even the military doing their patrols and everything. It was very nice today. Yeah.
This is like a dream come true me. I have to travel for a long distance to witness this, and one day I'll be very happy to share with my younger generation that are here to follow me.
Outside the venue grounds, it was a beehive of commercial activities, with locals relishing in the opportunity. Eric Mawina Egbeta, TV3 News, Adaklu, Volta region.
Clearly an exciting moment in the Volta region earlier today. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has promised to restore the economy to what it was prior to the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine war. Nana Akufo-Addo said though his government inherited an ailing economy, they turned things around and there was the leading economy until the pandemic hit.
And that is that when I assumed office on 7 January 2017, I inherited a severely challenged economy whose rate of growth at the time was the lowest in over 2 decades. By dint of hard work, prudence and creativity, we managed to turn things around, creating an economy which for the years 2017, 2018 and 2019, the years before the onset of COVID-19, was amongst the fastest growing economies not only in Africa, but also in the world, recording an annual GDP growth rate of 7%. We were the best place to do business in West Africa, and in 2021, we were described as the most attractive destination for investment in West Africa. The next 22 months of my mandate will be focused on restoring the economy we had before COVID-19 and the Russian invasion of Ukraine to the period of rapid growth. It is a solemn pledge I'm making to you, my fellow Ghanaians, and one which I am determined to fulfill.
Right, so that's President Akufo-Addo giving a reassurance to Ghanaians that he is working assiduously with his members of parliament and the general government machinery to get the economy back on track. But a statement he made has got many people talking. Let's find out what Dr. Edusa Akodie, who is a lecturer at the Department of Economics, University of Ghana, thinks about that. Doc, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening and thanks for having me. Happy Independence Day to everybody.
Same to you, sir. Thank you so much. President Akufo-Addo says in 2017, when he took office, he inherited a severely challenged economy and they had to work hard to get it on track. As an economist, was the economy between 2016 and 2017 severely challenged, as the president was saying?
Yeah, in relative terms, yes. By the time they came into office, the 2016 figures for GDP, inflation, exchange rate were not in good standing. And I'm using the term relative to describe how things were not good and they were able to improve it in 2017. But if you also compare the 2017 figures to now it's worse and it's the same administration. So they were better in 2017 and now things are not so well. So yes, they improved the GDP, they improved inflation, they ensured some stability. Inflation was in single digit. But as many Ghanaians would expect, that when you have stability and growth, it is only a means, not an end in itself. It's a means to ensuring development. In this case, a means to creating jobs and then creating, welfare, improving the welfare of the citizen. So in relative terms, yes, they inherited a bad economy, improved it, and now it's worse. And I think that they should be able to turn things around to at least to the pre-COVID levels.
And from all that you have seen, considering the fact that government is doing a debt restructuring locally, is seeking international assistance in doing so, are these steps that are likely to get the economy back on track, especially as you're saying, before COVID hit and before the Russian-Ukraine war?
Let's put the discussion in perspective that, yes, the heat of the events that we feel now is as a result of three things: the COVID, the war, and our own internal problems. So we should not relegate everything. We should not, say that everything happening here is the cause of the COVID and the war. We cannot also discount the effect of the COVID and the war. So I'm saying that the problems we face now from COVID, from the war, and we also have our own internal problems. Currently, the economy is destabilized. We see the inflation is around 53%, exchange rates, depreciation on the rise, interest rates over 35%, public debt over 100%. So it is not a good sign. And your question is, are we on track? Yes. The first thing we need is some stability. And I'm happy that the government has been able to, talk to the IMF. So we are all waiting for the IMF program so that the government can have some stability in the economy. And beyond the stability, there's the need to grow the economy and create jobs. So these are the things that we need: stabilize the economy, grow the economy, and create jobs, which is all that everybody is looking for.
Many may have relegated the bit about citizen participation. It looks as though everybody is shifting the blame on government and their management. Of course, they are handling our resources given to them through our vote. But what role can citizens play? We saw the back and forth between government trying to get the buy-in of citizens for the debt restructuring. Are we leaving everything to government, or our role is also being relegated as citizens in getting Ghana to work again?
Whether or not our roles are relegated, we still need to improve and work as Ghanaians in a collective manner. We lecturers, you journalists, those who are lawyers, banking institution, every segment of the economy, we all need to work together, because the government alone doesn't have all the ideas. They will need our input. There's now, with the debt exchange program, you realize that many people have raised the issue of the fact that the government wasn't consulting or didn't consult people earlier before implementation of this. So there's the need. It sends a signal to government that, yes, the citizens are willing to help the government to recover the economy. And so there's the need for the government to consult us. And I'm sure we are all available. What we are doing now is part of the consultations. I mean, I'm speaking as an economist, and I'm sure the ideas we are sharing now, they are listening. They will take on board at cabinet. Some of us have also written articles. There are professors in Legon, UCC Tech, who have written articles, who have given interviews about the economy. I'm sure the government will take all these suggestions on board. During the crisis, the government met the bank association, is it Association of Bankers in Ghana. AGI has always been writing to government, engaging with government. Guta has been engaging with government. So it's not as if we have relegated our responsibilities. We are all doing our part. And I think that we should all come together to rebuild the economy. It shouldn't be an NDC economy or MPP issue, which it is a Ghana economy that we must all come together and build. I have been looking forward to hearing from any politician that is really promising to develop the country into the upper middle income status. I've never seen that in any of the manifestos. And I think that for the 2024 elections and beyond, we should have a plan. Currently, Ghana is the lower middle income country. We must have a plan to grow our economy to the upper middle income status. Right. We need to get more than $4,000. This is the minimum requirement. $4,000 per capita income is the minimum requirement that we need to get to move our economy forward. So the stakeholder engagement is necessary. Right. The government must listen.
Right. And Doc, in wrapping up this conversation, we've heard former President John Dramani Mahama allude to the fact that considering the poor handling, and those are his words, the poor handling of the debt restructuring and the economy, is likely we may not get an IMF program before March ending. If that does not happen, are we likely to be in a more dire situation than we currently are in?
Yeah, very likely, and I hope the program is not delayed. Maybe former President Mahama has certain information that I don't have, but I just hope and pray that the program doesn't delay. It comes within the first quarter of this year, which is the end of March. We must have the program. Other than that, then you see that most of the time after the first quarter, the cedi depreciates because the businessmen and women who have gone to buy on credit for the Christmas celebration, they are now repaying their loans. And so we don't have to wait for the cedi to depreciate. If the cedi depreciates, we know the consequences. It affects fuel prices, and once the fuel price increases, transport fares increase. And once the transport fares increase, we know the transmission mechanism. You see the prices of every item, tomato, pepper, utility bills, school fees, everything will be on the rise. And so it is not something that we want in the country. So I think that we should do as a country and as a government, they should do everything possible to secure the IMF program without any delay. We must secure it within the first quarter of this year. By the end of March, we must have the program. Other than that, like you are saying, we may have dire consequences, which may be unbearable. And we don't have to get to that point.
Doc, thank you so much. Dr. Edusa Kordier, Senior Lecturer at the Department of Economics. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
And the president would be awarding some citizens for their work during the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. The president at the 66th Independence Celebration also announced lawyers who helped Ghana in its boundary dispute with La Côte d'Ivoire will also be honored.
I will on Tuesday, 14th March 2023, confer national honors on citizens of our country who distinguished themselves in the fight against the pandemic of COVID-19. By their actions, they helped protect and preserve our population and won global acclaim for Mother Ghana. I will also on that day express the nation's gratitude to the legal team of men and women who are charged with ensuring that the maritime boundary dispute with Western neighbor, the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, ended favorably for Ghana, thus ensuring that our Western maritime resources, including their potential oil and gas reserves, remain legitimately in our possession.
Still on the celebrations, though, Assembly members in the Bawku West District of the Upper East region have followed through with their threat to boycott the 66th Independence Day anniversary parade. They have vowed to keep abstaining from all assembly-related programs, including assembly meetings, until the Bawku chieftaincy dispute is resolved.
A new chief was enskined by the Nayiri despite the Zugran of the Kusau traditional area, Naba Asigri Abugragu Azoka II being the Bawku Naba. The assembly members in the 6 Kusau districts in a reaction threatened to boycott all state events, including assembly meetings. Following up with their threats, none of the 48 assembly members of the Bawku West district showed up at the event in Zibila. They contend the government continued silence over the new chief enskinned by the Nayiri means government is insensitive to the Bawku conflict.
As we stated earlier, we said government is paying lip service. And we thought that the government was actually going to act swiftly, such that this issue is resolved once and for all. But we still call on government to really look into the matter well. Otherwise, as we said earlier, we may not participate in other activities. We don't have freedom, and so we cannot participate in such an activity.
People were expecting that we as an assembly members we should have been there. It's rather unfortunate. Until peace returns to the area, we as an assembly members, we will not take part in any of the activities. We are peace loving, and we think that dialogue is the way to go. And we're expecting that they should have come down for us to dialogue and to find a way forward.
Yes, if government continues to be adamant, we members of the Bawku West District Assembly, otherwise known as Kosatonde, will also continue to remain adamant in our stand until the security and peace of COSAC is resolved.
In the meantime, the district chief executive for Bawku West, Isahaku Tahiru Ahmed, has urged the youth of the area to use their energy productively.
The destiny of this country solely lies with us, making it a better place for generations unborn. Let me see this opportunity to caution our youth to see our diversity as our strength, which should be used for productive purposes.
District Chief Executive for Timpani, Isaka Anabeda, called for justice and peace for Bawku. Only the presiding member for the assembly took part in the independence anniversary activities.
Away from Bawku, a nation that does not know where it is coming from will have a problem knowing where it is going. This holds true for the East African country of Rwanda, which, like many African countries, has had a sordid past, but through its current leadership is using the pain of the past to forge an enviable future that many hope to emulate. Martin Esierudate was in Kigali, Rwanda's national capital, and reports.
28 years ago, Rwanda was on the verge of total collapse. Within a period of 100 days, almost 1 million lives were lost through a genocide that was between two ethnic groups. What happened during April 7, 1994 and July 15 of the same year was unimaginable. It was a genocide by one ethnic group, the Hutus, against the minority group Tutsis, which claimed lives of innocent citizens for the reason that they belonged to another ethnic group within the same country. Prior to the horrendous killing of men, women and children, the United Nations received intelligence about the impending genocide but failed to intervene. Days after the attack began, the United Nations and other European countries pulled out of Rwanda, leaving the vulnerable Tutsis to their fate in the hands of the marauding Hutus. The United Nations Assistance Mission to Rwanda, which had a Ghanaian contingent led by General Kwame Anyidoho, decided to stay when the UN forces were ordered to pull out of Rwanda. In the face of adversity, General Anyidoho and other gallant Ghanaian soldiers stayed on and helped save thousands of Tutsi lives. He and Joseph Edinkra were honored in 2020 by Rwandan President Paul Kagame for their bravery during the genocide.
I thank you for your dedication and commitment. Where others fled or were withdrawn by their governments, leaving Rwandans to their fate, these officers remained and continued to lead their men and women.
Ghana and Rwanda have since built long-standing diplomatic relations, with both countries signing several bilateral agreements, including the establishment of the Rwandan High Commission in Ghana in 2019 to further strengthen the relationship between the two countries and explore ways of deepening cooperation in tourism, education and trade. At a media interaction with journalists from across Africa, the Rwandan president touched on a number of issues. On Ghana, the president expressed confidence that the current leadership of the country will be able to drive Ghana out of its current economic challenges.
Ghana is capable of, based on these two, is able to do many things for itself, and maybe some input from outside, like we all need support from different global institutions or partnerships with the countries or so on and so forth. Operationalizing CFTA is huge, and every country has a role to play, has something to do, and if more of that was done, then we should be seeing our countries needing less of begging and asking people to help out, bail us out, and so on and so forth.
It has almost become a cliche that the capital of Rwanda, Kigali, is the cleanest city in Africa. This is largely evident if one takes a drive through the city. It has become second nature to the citizens who randomly make statements like, "We don't do that here," and "No, the police will arrest you." The orderliness and cleanliness of the country has come at a cost, which many say is as a result of the high-handedness of the president. Rwanda's current population is 13.2 million. That's according to its 2022 Housing and Population Census, which projects the population to grow to 16.3 million in the next decade. Life expectancy has also risen to 69.6%, with Rwandans living longer and healthier. To plan effectively for these people, the government has instituted a yearly program called Umushyikirano, meaning let's discuss, where government officials meet with citizens to give an account of how they have managed the positions and resources allocated to them. At this event, citizens ask questions of the leaders from local to national levels on specific projects and policies and demand answers. This is done in the presence of the President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Parliament, and most importantly, the citizens to whom these public servants are accountable. This has boosted citizen participation in the governance of the country, which some have described as a startup country, considering its young democracy. But at just 29 years since the genocide, a lot of positivity has been attributed to Rwanda, its leadership, and the citizens. Rwanda may not be all perfect and rosy, but there are a lot of good attributes which many African countries desperately wish for and hope to have. In the case of Ghana, which is 66 years, many economic and political watchers are disturbed about the seemingly slow pace in development. Leadership, they say, is cause and everything else is effect. Here at the Kigali Convention Center, all government appointees and persons who are working for the state have just signed a performance contract which is going to bind them for the next 1 year. And at the next Umushyikirano conference, hopefully next year in 2024, they will come back here to give an account of their stewardship as regards how they manage the resources that were given to them. The president himself, Paul Kagame, also appended his signature to the fact that he will do all his best as the head of the executive of the country to drive them along the path of development and success, which has been ongoing for the last 30 years. From the Kigali Convention Center, Martin Esiedu-Date reporting for TV3.
Welcome back from Kigali. Many lessons to learn from the country. If there's just one big one that you want us to emulate from Rwanda, what would it be?
It will still fall on the issue of leadership. Because the random Rwandan, like I mentioned, will just come to you and say, you don't do that here, or you cannot do this here. And it tells you how, through the leadership, the citizens have been able to buy into the ideology of where they want the country to be. And it is not just me. Many, many people who've been to Rwanda have said it. And I think it is out there for all of us to see and learn, especially as Africans, if we want to get to the next frontier.
And we'll start from the little kids too.
Yes. We need to start from the classrooms where the younger ones can learn the lessons needed for the future.
We'll get there soon.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. On to some other stories now. The World Bank is advocating stringent regulation in the country's charcoal industry. This has become critical following the fast depletion of the Savannah ecological zone.
According to a report by the World Bank and the German International Corporation, GIZ, 8 million tons of wood are harvested annually for charcoal burning. Currently, 53% of the country's population depend on charcoal and firewood for their domestic energy, but activities of the sector largely remain unregulated. In the Savannah ecological zone, key tree species such as share, dawa and rosewood are illegally felled, while ravaging bushfires also degrade vast hectares of forest cover. Dr. Cisco Ost is the project manager for GIZ.
Many people still cook on with charcoal or firewood, and that still has an impact on the forests in Ghana. It's a work of the government to really develop something, a kind of regulation. As mentioned before, it could be different ways. It can be by subsidies, by taxes, by penalties, different ways. But it's important that there is a way how to regulate the forest resources.
Deputy National Director for Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, recommended that proceeds from charcoal production be used to reclaim degraded forest lands.
We take the charcoal from the natural resources or the natural forest, but there's currently no strategy in place dedicated to ensure long-term restoration. That's why we are saying that we need to have a system where there is an allocation of some of these revenue to ensure that the landscapes where we are sourcing charcoal from are restored significantly. Otherwise, we will eventually exhaust the supply, the stock where we produce the charcoal from, and then the sustainability will be missing.
Programs Manager at the Forestry Commission, Samuel Ejei, proffered strict enforcement of regulations towards sustainable forest use.
The Forestry Commission has introduced the charcoal conveyance certificate fee. So every charcoal that is being moved across the nation, we ensure that it's governed by a certificate. So in the certificate, we know where exactly our materials are coming from. In addition, people who produce charcoal for export, they are also required to indicate the source of the material, and the Forestry Commission verifies to ensure that it's being harvested from a sustainably managed source.
29% of Ghanaians are said to be dependent on the charcoal production for their livelihood. The workshop of key actors from civil society and international organizations was to develop a policy towards the restoration of forest landscape and sustainable wood energy value chain in Ghana.
In a related development, the felling of economic trees for charcoal burning has been outlawed by the Paramount Chief of Pulima Traditional Area in the Sisala West District of the Upper West Region, Koro Osman Nantba III. The ban was declared at this year's Gandawi Nabahilme Festival of the Chiefs and People of Sisala.
The vegetative cover of the Sisala West District consists mainly of short grass with scattered drought-resistant trees such as the shea, the baobab, dawadawa, acacia and neem trees. The heterogeneous collection of trees supports domestic requirements for firewood, construction of houses, kraals and fencing of gardens, while the shorter shrubs and grass provide fodder for livestock. The climate of the district is one that is common to the entire regions of the north, which are relatively dry for most parts of the year. Routine bush burning, inappropriate farming methods, indiscriminate felling of trees for firewood and charcoal, as well as poor animal husbandry have led to rapid depletion of the vegetative cover and loss of soil fertility.
While we are not against our people of doing reasonable and legal occupation to maintain their livelihoods, we are strongly against the depletion and to some extent the total annihilation of our few trees, which play a very important role in our very existence. The shea and the wadara trees, which have been phenomenal in the socio-economic lives of our people, have recently come under the Healing Act without recourse to everyone's cry. The chiefs and people of this traditional area in our meeting have unanimously resolved that we have banned the burning of charcoal in our traditional area using shea and dawadawa trees.
The Sisala West District Chief Executive Aisha Batongho and the Upper West Regional Crops Officer of the Ministry of Agriculture, Vuzi Frederick Doma, welcomed the initiative by the chiefs.
We have a shared responsibility to protect the environment, planting more trees than we cut down, and putting a stop to bushfire. We can adapt to improve upon the situation. I wish to appeal to our chiefs and well-meaning citizens to join the fight against illegal logging in the district by reporting these criminals to the Police and Forest Commission.
If Pulima Chief has started it, I will give him a thumbs up and fight this battle to the last end of it. And I think all other chiefs in the region should emulate him and support him to fight this canker.
The Member of Parliament for the Sisala West, Mohammed Adam Sukparu, called for unity to advance common goals.
You believe in something, and I think that what you believe in, it is not right. This is what I believe in. And so I shouldn't be seen as an enemy. I shouldn't be seen as somebody who is chasing your wife.
This is still News 360, the Independence Day edition, and I think that your day has been good so far, I guess.
It has.
Yeah. All right, stay with us. We have more for you right after this.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yin na da da da. So pa mediane no abe. Come on, Gino, do your magic. And papa no kunu abe fie.
Jan tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
The sweet scent of rose in the morning brings me so much joy. Inspired by damask rose and infused with 100% natural rose oil. Introducing new Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder. It's like bringing a garden with you everywhere with this wonderful perfume. Take a garden with you everywhere you go with Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder.
Hi, I am Richard Nyamakwe. Every day, I meet and interact with many young people who are full of business ideas and passionate about bringing these dreams to life to impact livelihoods and supporting their communities through small businesses. However, these businesses are often shattered or simply remain pipe dreams due to absence of seed capital. So on the occasion of my 38th birthday, the Richard Quay Foundation is providing a free seed capital to 10 young ambitious entrepreneurs who have great business ideas. Let your creative ideas flow now and send along those smart business ideas to info@richardquayfoundation.org. At the end, an independent grand jury will carefully review all business ideas and select 10 most outstanding ideas to walk away with a whopping 25,000 Ghana cedis each as seed capital. 6 months after, Quick Angels Limited will provide more substantial equity funding to those who have done something meaningful with their seed capital. All the best.
Welcome back to News 360 on TV3. Now on to some other stories tonight. And internet users continue to grow immensely in Ghana, but has reflected in the number of people using social media for business, according to the 2023 digital report. According to the report, only 28.63% of the over 23 million internet users use social media, a trend that experts say doesn't augur well for businesses and brands in the country. Aisha Yakubu Khalid reports.
Ghana's internet usage has seen an upward trend over the years, from 7.96 million in 2017 to 23.05 million in 2023. And although these numbers keep increasing, the number of social media users has not grown at a commensurate rate. According to the report, WhatsApp is the most popular social media platform in Ghana, followed by Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat and Twitter. But social media expert and digital marketer Stephen Nasebwedi is worried businesses are not harnessing it well.
The big thing about the internet or digital is that it's an enabler. It allows more people to get online. A lot of small businesses are using WhatsApp business now, for example. But we make the mistake of blasting our content to almost everybody on our list. Never send messages to people without their permission. Number two, segment your data. So, for example, you know who is interested in makeup, who is interested in hair products, this and that. Okay, there's a lot more that we can do if we embrace, digital.
The report also confirmed the growing popularity of sports betting in Ghana. Betting sites are part of the 10 most searched websites in Ghana in 2022.
Whether we like it or not, people are earning a lot more money. The economy is part of it. People are earning more money. They're spending more time. It's a big football match, for example. People are going to be online. They're going to be betting. They're going to be doing all sorts. But people want to make money. Okay, so we can't ignore that. If you look beyond the betting sites. The next ones you see will be the media houses. You have your 3 News, you have all this on their websites, because people are going there for information. In the same way, brands need to invest in driving traffic to their websites so that they will climb up the ladder. But these betting sites are investing a lot of money in driving traffic to their platforms.
The Digital Report is an annual survey on internet use around the world and its related tools. The 2023 Ghana report shows, for instance, that gaming is becoming hugely popular, that people's news consumption is being influenced heavily by mobile phones, and that as time goes on, the internet and the mobile phone will dominate not just the retail space, but commercial activities as a whole. Aisha Yakubu Khalid, TV3 News, Accra.
In more news tonight, management of Sunu Assurance Ghana has presented 6,000 cedis to its overall Best Retail Sales Officer. The company celebrated its sales agents at its annual Performance Awards night.
Sunu Assurance Ghana Limited, a member of the Pan-African Financial Service Group, the Retail Sales Officers Performance Award is an annual event to celebrate outstanding sales representatives. This year's ceremony, the 13th of its kind, was to celebrate great achievers of 2022.
Into the water for the acting of the company. So, as I said, they are a force to reckon with. You know, they are receiving for our growth, and we believe if they are treated well, at least they will give their best to the company. So that will give a fit to be rewarded every year, and every year, at least it's taking a new dimension. So as a company, so it's one of our philosophy at least to give back.
Over 50 awardees across the country, including Ho, Mankesim, Koforidia, were presented with cash awards and certificates. The overall best agent, Mercy Otabel, of the Accra 37 DVLA Center, received a check of 60,000 cedis and was crowned the Queen of Retail for the year 2022. She expressed her joy and shared her experience with Sunu Assurance.
I'm very happy. For about 3 years ago, I have been the Queen of Retail, and I'm so excited. And I want to tell the public that they should try Sunu Assurance. We are a very good insurance company. When it comes to our claims, we are the best.
Chairman for Sunu Assurance, Pakwesi Yankee, commended the efforts of sales representatives.
To always keep their head above water, play within the rules, and at the end of the day, they'll be rewarded for whatever it is that we shall always be ahead of everybody else.
First runner-up, Naomi Ofusu, was presented a check of 30,000 cedis and a certificate. Second runner-up, Kweku Esel from Agona Swedru, was presented a certificate and a check for 25,000 cedis.
We have more news coming up shortly. Don't go away.
What does money mean to you?
It means convenience. It gives me the ability to do business at my own pace.
It allows me to live my life with ease and enjoy my lifestyle without interruptions.
Security. I can make investments I can trust, and I know exactly where my money is all the time.
Having the flexibility to do what I want to.
The feeling and peace of mind I get knowing I can safely receive remittances from my family and friends from the comfort of my home. Money means safety.
Money means so many things to so many people, but no matter what you use it for or what it may mean to you, money is the one thing that keeps us going and makes our lives a little bit brighter. So what does money mean to you? Just Momo it.
MTN.
I'm still like a crack. Oh, like a crave is like, oh, Amaria, Poma Sherry.
The beer Amaria Fakaka. So,
Amalia, Zumwa, Bedimuna, then I said, Bam!
Mammy, hi, Manumbala.
And that was a video. Eat
a pomo tomato mixer, no.
When you come while you do, hey. Nothing bueno.
Hey, Pomo tomato mixo. Pomo no.
Charlie, no where the love come in. If the jollof no.
If the Pomo tomato mixo. Pomo no.
Pomo tomato mix aye, the natural tomato aye. Aye koko kama emupi. Fiber woni no wo munti. Emma wodi ane e destron kuma adamfofo ne abusia nyina. This advert is FDA approved.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG.
Welcome back.
And the king is in.
Yeah.
King Henry.
Yeah. And already I'm tired of standing. King sits, don't they?
The king doesn't sound sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about basketball today.
Yes, a lot of basketball here in Ghana. You know, it's not the most popular sport here, but we're trying to grow it. So let's see what's in the news.
Right.
And Spintex Knights, a franchise in Ghana, are making strides to put the country on the map in basketball, winning a tournament in Ivory Coast a year ago and finishing second at a showdown in Nigeria earlier this year. 3 Sports' Bill Ishen tells the story about the franchise who aim to be the first Ghanaian team to play in the Basketball African League.
Ghana has been a home to many legends in multiple sporting disciplines. Football fans remember the dazzling skills of Abedi Pele. Azuma Nelson's name is still on the lips of boxing enthusiasts, whilst Benjamin Azamati and Joseph Paul Amoah have made the nation proud in athletics. The Spintex Knights are taking steps to put Ghana on the map in basketball. The franchise, which was formed in 2018, took home the trophy at the Tournoi International Basketball Tournament in 2022. Earlier in 2023, they took on the best teams in Nigeria, finishing second behind Kwara Falcons, one of Africa's toughest outfits, with a team dominated by students with dreams of reaching the top.
So I think we have about 70% being students and the rest being workers. The plan for the students is for them to be recognized by universities, both within Ghana and abroad, for them to be able to get onto scholarships and still go to school and play ball.
The players usually converge at Lashibi in the evenings to train under the watchful eye of Salom Thomas, a coach with about 9 years of experience in basketball. Salom and his charges aim to compete in the Basketball Africa League, the continent's biggest showcase in the sport in the next few seasons.
Personally, I think that this team has a potential to be the first Ghanaian team to play in the Basketball Africa League. And that's what we are looking at. We are looking at how we can get our team into the Basketball Africa League. We are looking at how we can turn our team into a professional team where they're actually getting paid to play basketball. So those are the things that we are hoping to see happen very soon.
Getting recognition in any sport is a tough endeavor. Doing so in a football-hungry nation is an even tougher challenge. But Spintex Knights are gradually changing the narrative in silence.
We're going straight to the top. Like, Africa should watch out for the best. Because we were in Nigeria a couple of months ago and we showed our best. We proved to Africa that we can probably compete in the bigger leagues. And so Africa should watch out for Spintex Knights.
All right, so away from there, let's do some football. And for many decades, Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko have battled for supremacy. They did so again on the eve of Ghana's independence. The 3 Sports team takes a look at that rivalry.
"66 years of independence as a nation. Ghana football has seen it all. Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko have been at the center of it all. Beginning as a feisty rivalry in 1956, just a year before Ghana won its independence, the match has grown to become more than just what it is: football. Over the decades, the two teams have drawn several battle lines for trophies and bragging rights, with many neutrals eager to see the next goal and the next win. Magic wands have been waved, dancing feet seen in the profound ways in many high-octane matches. Another of those was witnessed on Sunday, on the eve of the nation's 66th anniversary. But this match had a different tale to it. Kotoko and Hearts faced off in an unprecedented match format. The game was a Ghana Premier League game, but also served as a President's Cup fixture. Hearts of Oak went on to win 1-0 thanks to a header from Kwenedu Yadom. 3 points earned and a trophy to carry home for the Phobians. GFA President Keto Kreku was in attendance and expressed his happiness at the general outlook of the game.
It was a good game. I thought the two teams sold out good football to Ghanaians. Obviously, it was a unique occasion, unique in the sense that it served both as a league game and also to honor the sitting president. The president was present, and that added value to the event. I believe that the two teams did justice to Ghanaian football. Again, it gives credence to the fact that there's still quality in the Ghanaian game. And when it is that we continue to invest properly and to keep the way, Ghana football would be at the place that we all want it to be. I am very happy.
The chapter for this year between the two arch rivals has closed. But in the years to come, fans would expect goals and drama from the Super Clash. A game born out of sheer passion, excitement, and different levels of ambition.
All right, so that is it then. And it has been about 24 hours since the unthinkable happened. Liverpool scoring 7 without reply against Manchester United at Anfield, which sends shockwaves. United have performed well this season despite the humbling defeats last.
Manchester United to lose 7-0. I can't even believe I'm saying that at Anfield. It's a horrendous result and an awful day for Manchester United. But I still think this has been a good season for Erik ten Hag's team. I think he's done a good job. I said at the start of this season, if United finished in the top 4.
I think at this point I'll be asking my United fans like Matt Nasiru Date what time it is, because we are still within the 7 range. And anyway, that'll be all for the sport here on News 360. My name is Theo Nyan. Thanks for staying with me.
Reliable bookmaker with high odds. Wide selection on events. And bonuses for every taste. 1xBet. Easy use, easy win.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is said here.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Fakakra. Na ye bebre. Fakakra yang kwani stew dodoa ope.
Tasty Tom dear. It will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into writing and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA.
Payment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water.
Tonight in this segment, the 2020-2021 music calendar year birthed so many incredible music talents. Same, however, cannot be said about 2022, as fewer new artists made a big impact on the scene. Some showbiz pundits want entertainment platforms to be intentional about helping to discover new talents and stop over-focusing on already established ones. Also, Arai has the rest of the story.
2020 and 2021 were great years for Ghana musically. After years of serving the underground world and putting in hard work, a good number of talents shot to prominence. Yaw Tog, Jackie, Kofi Jamal, Kamido, Kweku Flake and many others got their breakthrough and made a big impact with their song. Man of the Moment Black Sherif gaining popularity with his hit single First Sermon released in May 2021. So, what did 2022 bring? We asked some industry folks to help us with some names, and it was Wahala.
Okay, last May, and I would say, who again? Black Sherif?
No, he came from 2021.
2021, Black Sherif was 2021. But it was 20. Okay. No, it was 2021. Hey! You know,
up the head in 2022, I think I can mention Last
year, as in 2022, not much.
The music market in Nigeria, on the other hand, always churns out countless talents each passing year.
We don't know the Nigerian artists when they blow, but we listen to them.
But they keep coming. Almost every year, they have fresh talents to show.
And then we keep listening to them.
Who is to blame for Ghanaian talents not showing a good presence in 2022?
One thing that I can mention is lack of trust for these talents, because you pick them from nowhere. They are new. You put all your investments in them, you put all your money in them. When they become big, then they are telling you where they want to be. So you meet him every time you're doing yes sir, boss, godfather, this, that. You get one big song, and if you are not careful, the boss and the father will not come to him, will not come to her, or something like that, because at that time he thinks he's arrived. Because of that, there are many record labels who will be willing to put their money into a new artist and bring him from scratch.
We have a lot of talent here. I think the presenters should give more opportunity to the young ones. You are an A-list presenter and they are finding it so difficult to come to you. Let's give them the chance. Don't be targeting only the A-list artists, so that we can have this talent also grow.
Is it a case of talents themselves not being creative and pushing hard enough?
You see, you are coming in to meet a stiffer competition. So come in with uniqueness. Come in with that wow factor. Come in with that thing that the other guy is not doing. Then we can tell and ask ourselves, who is that guy? You understand? But when you come in and do the same thing they are doing, you can't sustain, you can't stand the market.
The Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Kenya has said England will no longer be the leader of the global Anglican Church following a change in teaching to allow priests to marry same-sex couples. Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit told a local television station that the church's teaching that homosexuality is a sin would not change. The Church of England last month backed proposals to allow prayers of blessing for same-sex couples, but it said its position on gay marriage would not change and same-sex couples would still be unable to marry in church. Archbishops representing 10 of the 42 provinces in the Anglican Communion have said they no longer consider Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, as their leader. The Tanzanian government has banned boarding at nursery and lower years at primary schools, saying their aim is to give children the opportunity to bond with their families, understanding the traditions, cultures, and values of the country. Education Commissioner says boarding services for children up to the age of 10 will end next month, and they will remain as day scholars until they reach the next grade.
And that's how we bring the Independence Day edition of News 360 to an end. Thank you very much for spending your last 1 hour with us. My name is Martin Esiedu-Date.
And I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of the holiday. Have a lovely evening.